Students, in this video lecture, we will move forward in our chapter Human Reproduction. So first, we will talk about the hormone control of female reproductive system, means how the hormones are regulating the process of reproduction by regulating the process of oogenesis. So we will see here. So hypothalamus is the gland which is situated in our brain. This hypothalamus is secreting gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, and this GnRH, which is secreted by hypothalamus, will induce the anterior lobe of pituitary gland, and this one is another endocrine gland which is situated in our brain. And after the induction by this gonadotropin releasing hormone, it will start producing LH and FSH. So in our previous lecture, we have seen that how LH and FSH are inducing the process of spermatogenesis. So the same hormone in female also inducing the oogenesis. So LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, both are secreted by anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. So we will see what are their functions. So FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, they are inducing the growth of ovarian follicle and egg, and also they are helping in the formation of estrogen. As you know that estrogen is considered as the uh, primary female hormone. So this estrogen, which is very important for the development of secondary sexual characters in female, is induced by this FSH only. So FSH is working on two things. First one is the growth of ovarian follicle and egg, and the second very important work is to induce the formation of estrogen. And LH, the second hormone, luteinizing hormone, stimulates the corpus luteum to secrete progesterone, and progesterone is considered as the pregnancy hormone. So this one, LH, is inducing this corpus luteum. As you know, what is corpus luteum? Corpus luteum is the structure where the ovulation has been taking place. During evolution, what happens? The oocyte will come out from the Graafian follicle, and the place, means the vacant place, will be converted into the corpus luteum, and that corpus luteum will start producing the progesterone. And although this is a pregnancy hormone, but when pregnancy is not maintained, also at that time also this progesterone hormone is also secreted, but the level of this hormone will be so much less as compared to the pregnancy time, means during gestation period. Now we will see here that when ovary will be induced by this LH and FSH, which is secreted from the anterior lobe of pituitary, then ovary will start producing estrogen and progesterone. And as I said, that ovary will produce estrogen when FSH will induce this ovary, and progesterone will be produced by this ovary when LH will induce this ovary to produce this hormone. So both of these hormones will be produced, and what will happen after that? When this estrogen and progesterone will be secreted in required amount, then feedback mechanism of progesterone will be operated. Means when the level of this progesterone will be high, means when the level of progesterone will be in optimum level, then what will happen after that? This progesterone, this secreted progesterone will inhibit the secretion of LH and FSH. So when it will be produced in required amount, then it will stop the secretion of LH and FSH, and by this way, this ovary will not further be induced to produce these hormones. So this is called as feedback mechanism, means feedback inhibition mechanism, we can also say. Means the product is inhibiting its own production by inhibiting the LH and FSH production. About the menstrual cycle. So here we will see some points under this heading. So first point is it takes place in the female of the primates such as monkey, ape and human. Means menstrual cycle is a cyclic process which is taking place within the uterus of the female in primates only. And the examples are monkey, ape, human, etc. And the same kind of cycle is also operated in case of non-primate mammals. That is called as estrous cycle. So here, there are some points such as menarche and menopause. Menarche means when first menstruation starts, then we are using the term menarche, and the last menstruation in case of a particular female will be called as menopause. So menarche and menopause are the terms which have been used for first and last menstrual cycle. Now, one menstrual cycle is completed within 28 to 29 days of time, and in different females it may be somewhat different, and it may ranges plus 5 to -5, but generally the standard days to operate the menstrual cycle is 28 to 29 days. Now, the ovulation occurs at 14th day. Means in standard condition, the ovulation occurs at the 14 days of menstrual cycle. And this 14th day is the middle of the cycle. Means if the cycle is operated for 28 days, then at 14th day, means it is the middle of the cycle. Then at the middle of the cycle, means on 14th day, ovulation will be taken place. And ovulation means the release of the ovum from the oocyte. And why it will be released? Just to fertilize it. Means after just for the fertilization and for the zygote, and after that the embryo will be developed and fully grown baby will be developed, and after fertilization the baby will come out. So ovulation is there at the mid of the menstrual cycle. Now, cycle starts with menstrual flow phase, and it occurs during 3 to 5 days, and in this period the egg will not be fertilized. By this figure, we can understand the whole cyclic process and the hormonal regulation and the changes taking place within the uterus. So we can see that the whole phase of this menstrual cycle can be divided into two phases. First phase will be called as follicular phase or proliferative phase, and the second phase will be called as luteal phase or secretory phase. So follicular phase starts from day 1 and will be completed at day 14 when ovulation will be taken place. And after ovulation, we can see here this one is the 14th day where ovulation is taking place here. So after ovulation, luteal phase starts. Means the ranges of the luteal phase is day 14 to day 28 or 29. And this follicular phase is as I said, that follicular phase is also called as proliferative phase, just because in this phase proliferation of the endometrial cells is being taken place. So here proliferation of the endometrial cells will be taken place, as endometrium has to provide the wall or the space for the attachment of the embryo. So here proliferation will be taken place. Proliferation means the number of cells will be increased so that the inner wall of the uterus, which is made up of endometrium, will form a cushion-like structure, and during this phase, during this proliferative phase, the thickness of the wall of the uterus or the endometrium will be increased, and at the same time the blood vessels will also be more, means more vascularization will also be taken place, as if pregnancy will be maintained, then the embryo needs nutrition. That's why there should be a lot of blood vessels to provide the required things for the embryo. And the wall of the uterus, the inner wall of the uterus, which is made up of endometrial cells, will also be modified, as it has to provide some special nutrients and some special space so that embryo can adjust itself within the wall of the uterus and it can attach itself within the wall. Second phase, which will be operated from day 14 to 27, as I said, luteal phase or secretory phase. In this phase, the Graafian follicle will be transformed into the corpus luteum. So, as I told before, that during the evolution, the oocyte will come out, and after coming out, the oocyte, the place from where the oocyte has came out, will be converted or transformed into corpus luteum. And now this corpus luteum will start producing progesterone just to help the embryo to attach itself within the wall of the uterus. So uterus should also uh, be modified, as it has to provide space for the embryo, attachment for the embryo. So progesterone will be secreted. So this progesterone will be secreted by the corpus luteum. Now we can see that here, what would be the level of the hormone secreted during this period. So LH, luteinizing hormone. You can see here that this luteinizing hormone is, you can see this, the level of luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone rises at the day of ovulation. Means during ovulation, LH, the expression of LH and FSH will be so much high as compared to rest of the days during menstrual cycle. Now we can see the expression of estrogen peaks two times. First at the day of ovulation and at 23rd to 27th day the expression of the progesterone. So we can see here the expression of progesterone rises during the luteal phase, and especially from day 21 to day 27. And this is the phase in during this menstrual cycle where progesterone has to function. Means if fertilization will be possible, means if fertilization occurs, then the body of the female as well as the uterus and the whole system has to be changed according to adjust the embryo within the uterus. So progesterone is the main hormone. As I said before, that progesterone is considered as the pregnancy hormone. So this pregnancy hormone will accommodate, will help the uterus to accommodate the embryo. So it will be expressed within this window, with 28 days to 21st to 27 days of menstrual cycle. If pregnancy will be maintained, then progesterone will start its function. And if pregnancy will not occur, then what will happen? The progesterone will again go down. Now we can see that there is the coordinate, we can see that this menstrual cycle is operated by these these hormones. So this whole of this menstrual cycle is operated in a very coordinated manner, and each and every day and the phase will be important, and there is a very coordinated and step-by-step process in which the main function of this whole process is to produce oocyte for the process of fertilization. And if pregnancy will be maintained, then what will happen? This menstrual cycle will be stopped up to the childbirth. But if pregnancy will not be maintained, then new cycle will be started. So as you can see that here at day 29, I have written 1 also, just because if pregnancy will not be maintained, then the same story will be repeated again. Means in another cycle, another oocyte will be induced to ovulate, and if pregnancy will be maintained, then it will be stopped up to when the parturition is not taking place. But when, if it is not taking place, means fertilization will not be operated, then again the new cycle will be started and new egg will be formed. In order to see what changes is being taking place within the wall of the uterus or the endometrium, we can see this figure and we will understand completely what changes are also occurring within the wall. So we can see here, this figure is the lower portion of this figure is representing the wall of uterus. So what happens? We can see here it has been given as means as per the date, means at day 14 has been given here, 28 days have been given here, means it is representing one complete cycle of the menstrual cycle. And here we can see the wall of the uterus. So here, when this cycle will be started, then there will be blood flow. So this blood flow will be called as menses. I will let you know later in this class what is the meaning of this menses and why the blood will come out. So we can see here that during this phase, the thickness of the uterus is now being increasing, and here the number of blood vessels and the spread of blood vessels will also be increased. So why this process is taking place along with the growth of this oocyte, you can see here, along with the development of the wall of this uterus, the growth of follicle is also taking place, and at this place, which at day 14, ovulation is taking place, and wall of this endometrium is now being thickened. So this space, the wall of this uterus will provide space for the attachment of the embryo. This is the reason this will become thick and cushion-like structure. And blood vessel will also be there, as I told before, that will have to provide the nutrients and oxygen and a lot of things which will be required by the baby. So what will happen if pregnancy will be maintained, then the thickness of this uterus will also be maintained. But if in case fertilization is not taking place, then there is no requirement of this thickened wall of uterus. Then what will happen? This will be broken. Means these newly formed tissues of the endometrium will be broken. So when it will be broken, then the tissues and blood along with some mucus will come out from the uterus, and the whole thing means and blood mucus and the wall of uterus is called as menses. So as I told before in the starting of the slide, I told you that it ranges, means the blood flow ranges from 3 to 5 days. So you can see here, menses means when pregnancy will not be operated, then menses will occur, and means at the last phase of this menstrual cycle, menses will come, and during 1 or 2 days of the next cycle, it will be remain, and the new oocyte will be developed for the next cycle. Thank you.